following is a presentation given at the Thai Texas Funding Forum 2015 in January. The partners are TEN and the Business Makers Show, sponsored by Baker Hughes Incorporated. And this presentation is by EntVantage DX.
And now we're going to move on to EntVantage with Joe Scrava. So, Joe?
A growing epidemic in the world is that the overuse of antibiotics for the treatment of common illnesses. The overuse of antibiotics has high costs associated from a healthcare system, societal, and mortality standpoints. And I'm going to tell you about how EntVantage's products will help reduce the amount of inappropriately prescribed antibiotics. So I want you to meet Anne. 2 weeks ago, Anne came down with a cold, and now she's developed some new symptoms of fever, facial pain, nasal discharge. She's tired. She finally decides to go to her primary care physician. And her primary care physicians are supposed to use these complicated algorithms that are based on symptoms to diagnose Anne's underlying illness. They have to decide without it whether Anne has sinusitis, and if so, whether it's viral or bacterial, which have virtually the same symptoms, from a whole host of other respiratory illnesses, similar symptoms. And isn't it amazing, in 2015, a physician doesn't have a tool or a test in their office that takes them to point A to point B and to get a diagnostic result. And that's now with the EntVantage products. The SignUnow collection device and the BACDetect assay systems will provide physicians with definitive in-office rapid diagnostic results. Patients avoid unnecessary antibiotic prescriptions and allow the physicians to better target an optimal antibiotic for use to treat the bacteria if it is positive. So like strep tests and influenza tests that have become commonplace in the primary care market, we intend to become the rapid test for sinusitis detection. Almost 75 million patients in the US and Western Europe get this diagnosis every year. The majority, upwards of 90% of them, have sinusitis that's caused by a virus and not a bacteria. But over half of the patients are getting a prescription for antibiotics that they don't need, can make their condition worse, and can lead to very costly antibiotic-resistant infections. There are no current office-based diagnostic products for sinusitis diagnosis in the market today. There is established favorable reimbursement of $55 per test using current reimbursement CPT codes. And there is a well-defined regulatory path for this Class 2 FDA diagnostic device and European Class Annex 2 self-certified device. We believe we'll sell the diagnostic kit to the physician clinic for $30 per test kit, making this market over $2 billion annually. And the products are easy to use. The SignUnow collection device goes up into the nose, presents a little porous swab into the sinus, takes a sample of the mucus, and then we put it onto our BACDetect 3 assay system, where we test for 3 bacteria that is responsible for 90% of bacterial sinusitis. We do this all in the clinic, all in 5 minutes, while the patient is there in the clinic. We got here through a $1.1 million NIH grant where the inventors of the technology identified key cell surface markers on one of those pathogens that is responsible for 40% of bacterial sinusitis, Haemophilus. It was awarded the top prize in research by the top ENT Society in the US in 2013. It was recently published in CNN Health Minute and a number of other news outlets, and was published last year in this top ENT peer-reviewed journal. The work resulted in 2 patents being applied for, and we licensed those from the Ohio State University and Nationwide Children's Hospital on an exclusive worldwide basis. The patents cover both the device, the collection device, and the assay system itself. And our revenue model is simple. We sell this diagnostic kit to the physician for $30 per test. It costs us approximately $3 per test for this, so we have a great gross margin. And the physician has an opportunity to gain a margin of $25 a product using the existing reimbursement codes. Remember that they don't make anything for writing a prescription for an antibiotic. So we believe that the office economics will help drive our market penetration as well. This is a Class 2 diagnostic device in the U.S., and we plan to do a clinical trial at 5 sites with about 1,000 patient specimens, where we'll compare the result received in the clinic with a laboratory confirmation test, and then file for that approval. We don't have to follow patients, so it's a very rapid clinical trial. In the U.S. or in Europe, there's no clinical trial requirement at all. We can market the device as soon as we get CE mark. And we plan to distribute this through known distribution channels in the primary care, otolaryngology, and point of care markets that are fueled by large players already in the distribution of these types of devices to the primary care and ENT physicians. And we believe after our development of 2.5 years and market approval that will launch this product and quickly grow market to 8% market share after 3 years. Now, when we compare this 8% market share, strep tests penetrated 27% of the market share after total available market after 3 years. Flu tests penetrated 15%, so we believe we're very conservative to both of those tests as our comparative. And the exit strategy over the last 5 years has been 17 exits in the ENT and point of care market space that have paid on average 3 to 4 times revenue. So we believe that we could become a $500 million company by the end of year 3. We're led by a strong board and management team. I'm a bioengineer that has worked in medical product development and commercialization my whole career. Rick Hawkins is a serial entrepreneur, life science entrepreneur in the Austin area that has successfully founded and exited a number of companies, and he's currently the CEO of Lumos Pharmaceutical here in Austin. And Don Gonzalez is an ENT physician, entrepreneur that developed a company and sold it last year to ArthroCare for close to $100 million, and is now a CEO of 3 other ENT device companies. We're assisted by a top scientific advisory board made of top otolaryngologists in the U.S. and diagnostic product professionals. And right now we're in design of the 2 components. Our assay is under development at Experimune in Abilene, Texas, where they are working on developing our antibodies, evaluating those antibodies, developing our lateral flow prototype tests that we'll use in a pilot clinical trial. The SignUnow collection device is under development by a partner called Evo Design. They are now in the process of evolving our design concepts. We're producing parts for a cadaver study. We'll be finalizing the design and building 1,000 of these devices over the summer. And then for the future, these same bugs that cause sinusitis, bacterial sinusitis, also cause ear infections and throat infections. So we believe by developing different collection devices, we can utilize this on the same test platform, as well as we have plans to expand this platform from 3 bacterial pathogens to multiples, so 5 or 7 different pathogens, and developing a quantitative assay. We are now in the process of closing $1 million in funding. We have $400,000 that we've closed, about $300,000 in additional commitments, and we're looking to finish out that round in the next month. We're going to do 3 things with it. We're going to develop the SignUnow collection device, develop the BACDetect assay system, and conduct a pilot study in that first year. Our investment vehicle is a convertible debt vehicle, 25% discount to the next round, plus an 8% interest rate on a 3-year note, of which we intend to do those 3 things that I just mentioned. When we plan to do that in this calendar year. So in summary, this is a large opportunity, a $2 billion market opportunity for this bacterial sinusitis test alone. We have a favorable regulatory environment with a Class II device. We have established and lucrative reimbursement at $55 per test. We have numerous strategic partnering opportunities. We're led by an experienced management team and advisors that will deliver a great return on investment for our investors. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Good presentation. If you guys go and type in your questions to the chat box, I can read them off to other people. A couple have already come in. The first being, what is the IP arrangement you have with Ohio State?
We've licensed 2 patents on an exclusive worldwide basis. We have a royalty obligation of 4% to the university. We do have some carve-outs for stacking provisions that take it down to about 3%. So it's a modest royalty. They do have an equity position in the company.
Okay. Next question is there a valuation cap on your convertible note? If so, what is that?
Right now, the cap on the note is at $12 million.
Right. Do you have any preclinical data with the antibody?
So the work that was done at Ohio State was animal studies where they tested in 150 different chinchillas was the model, where they gave the chinchilla a Haemophilus bacterial infection. We were able to demonstrate that we're 100% sensitive and specific around identifying the Haemophilus in the laboratory animal testing. We've also tested it against 8 different human strains of Haemophilus and have showed 100% sensitivity and specificity to Haemophilus against those human strains.
Right. Next question is, are the patents issued or pending? If pending, when do you expect they will be issued?
It's difficult to anticipate how long it takes to get through the patent office. They were filed in 2012. They are now pending, and we've had some early office actions that we're addressing now, but we expect that it will be within a year or so that they'll issue.
Okay. When do you see the earliest exit possible?
We have an exit opportunity after approval, so a couple years out from now, once we have clinical approval for the products. We also see an opportunity to grow the market and increase that. So we're looking at exits 3 years to 5 years out.
And what stage would that be for the exit 5 years out?
Well, we would have product and sales ramps. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. All right, Joe. Well, thank you so much. Those are the questions we have for now. Good presentation, good questions.